Pinch and a punch, first day of the month. A bit extreme, a bit too much to start the show off with. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It is February, everyone. It is Feb. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And we are kicking off February with an absolute corker of a live show. If you've not joined us before, well, come on in. Join the family. Come on in, everyone. We are here Monday to Friday. Live chatting all things gardening, and tonight farmering. That's not quite the right phrase, is it? Farming, just farming tonight. So please come and join us, everyone. If you're liking the show, then give it a thumbs up. If you're not liking it, then if you can give it a thumbs down, you can do that as well. Give it a share and come and say hello in the comments. Let's begin. Facilia. Or Pacilia. You just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, Anon. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, all right?
Are you going to get composted, Lee?
Yeah, Right, let's clear things up to begin with, right? I got an email through. Let me try and find this email first. Where was it from? Hang on, wait there. It's from Australia. It's from Jane from Australia, right? And Jane said she loves the podcast and she listens every day. The only bad thing about that email was that she also picked up Ian Beddoes, Sugget, Mark, Lisa, Liam for all adding to the podcast. Jane, they just show up. They don't do the hard work. This is what they want. Only if you're going to send good stuff in my email box, just ignore Beddoes mainly and Sugget. But that's my only query from the weekend. How are we all doing, everyone? I hope you're all good. What a way to start the show. Hope you're all good. Very excited today. We have got, this is our first interview of the year. January seems to have just flown by, right? Our supporter of the podcast in February for the next 3 weeks is Meet the Farmers podcast. If you've not given it a listen yet, then Mark said Jane has impeccable taste. If you've not listened to it yet, I've been giving it a good old listen over the weekend. It's an absolute corker. And tonight, for, well, not one night only, I'm sure you'll pop back later on in the month, but for tonight at least, we've got Ben Eagle.
Hello, Lee.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm going to be so out-podcasted by you tonight because I've been listening to you, right?
Never.
You have
it's not possible.
You have such the most beautiful voice for podcast and radio.
It's all to do with the mic, Lee. It's all to do with the mic, I'm sure.
I don't know how you do it, man. How are you doing, dude?
I'm good. It's been a bit of a weird day, hasn't it? So, I mean, weather-wise, it's been a bit a bit dull, but it's February. So January's over. We're into February. We're into a new month. Also, I can't believe you got me on as the first guest of the year for your show. What an honor.
It can only go up from here, right?
Absolutely. Big time.
Oh,
Set the bar low.
January went so fast, man. Like, I can't even believe. I think everyone went into Jan thinking that it was going to be a bit different than it was. So we never really got anyone on. We just sort of grooved our way through it.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to see last month, to be honest. It's sort of how I was seeing my show as well last month. Sort of let's just ease into the year, ease in, and then we'll get But it's gonna be a good month.
Dude, you've gone. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you throughout this tonight as well. By the way, I'm dreadful at interrupting people. Dude, the reason we've got you on tonight is one because you're supporting the podcast, which big up here for the next.
Absolutely. Well,
also, you're local
pleasure.
to me, right? No, that's not the only reason that I like you, but you're local to me, yeah.
I am local. I'm out at Walton on the Naze, Frenton on Sea, Clacton, that sort of way. So just bang out on the coast, just across from you. Yeah,
I mean, to our Australian listeners, that means nothing, but to anyone,
nothing at all.
it's a lovely place to live, mate. And also, so Meet the Farmers. How long has it been going on for?
About 4 years. So it started like all good things do, or as a conversation in the pub. I was living in Bristol at the time, and was in the pub with a load of mates and some other randos, which is what you always get in Bristol, which is partly why I love Bristol. Big up any listeners tonight who are from that part of the world. Love it. And for some reason, I don't know why, but conversation just turned towards farming. I'm from a farming background. So even though I decided not to go into farming straight away in my life, I grew up on a dairy farm, which we're not now. And that's what we asked. It was like, oh, Ben, you're from a farming background. And everyone was really interested. And it was like, why? Why is this? And I think, podcasts. So this is back in this was 2016, mid 2016. I was just about starting to get into podcasts back then, and had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But went out onto a friend's farm for the first one. It was my first one. Was let's just not go there. It took a few just to get into it. But and then it just became a little bit of an obsession, really. And I've just traveled about the place, went and visited loads of different farmers, but it was all about just getting those stories out there, which in farming we've been pretty crap at, to be honest, for ages. But there are some amazing people out there in the countryside, and it's just about telling their stories and meeting them, and it's just genius. I really, really love it.
It's I couldn't I've listened to quite a few more episodes in the last few weeks, and there is such a it's sort of like, obviously I'm in gardening, you're in farming, and I'll try and look exactly the same for you. There's so many stories that no one really hears about, and sometimes we go around and garden and go, oh, we're so underrepresented in this gardening world. I'm guessing you feel the same, right?
Big time. No, absolutely. I think it's and that's why I absolutely love the podcasting world as well. It just gives whoever you are, you can have a voice, and it's so great to be able to just think, right, who are we gonna speak to today, or who are we gonna get on soon, and you can just find, for me, it's the little stories which are the best ones.
Yeah, definitely. What sort of reaction when you ask someone, can I come and record a podcast with you? What sort of reaction do you usually get?
You know what? When I started this thing, I thought everyone was just going to say, "Who is this guy? What the hell are you doing?" But you know, other than one, I think I've had one rejection in 4 years. Everyone has just been so come on, show me exactly what you want to show me everything. They're all, it's an open book, and they just love just showing off what they do, because if there's one thing that I've found, definitely farmers are obsessed and absolutely love just showing what they do, because they do it like 24/7 pretty much. This is their lives. This is pretty much all they do most of the time. It's just it's just really nice just to be able to show the world the rest of that.
Just proper proud about it.
Yeah, big time.
You said that your family's obviously in farming, right?
Yep. So dad was the last of the dairy farmers. Dare I say it? The cows went when I was about 12, 13, I think, in the late 90s. Yeah. And then so we're now sort of skipping ahead. So the farm is still in the family. We're an arable farm. But we grow some weird and wonderful stuff as well. We're including one crop called sea buckthorn, which I'll give a shout out to, because no one will have heard about that, or you never know. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, on your show, people are more likely to know about sea buckthorn than other people, because it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested actually. Yeah, if anyone has heard of sea buckthorn, please let Lee know, because it'd just be great.
What do you use sea buckthorn for?
So it grows wild on the coast, up and down. It's a bright orange berry.
Yeah.
It's a shrub which grows up to sort of 2 meters or so, and we harvest it for its berries, which is, and it's in essence, it's a health product. So it's got 190 different bionutrients within it. It's after rose hips, I think, has the second highest concentration of vitamin C of any berry. Yeah, it's just a really, really interesting thing. It's they grow more sea buckthorn in China than we grow wheat in this country, which sort of puts it into perspective. Yeah, and yet no one's heard of it here.
Perfect, mate. So that's what you grow now. So when you were younger, how come you didn't get into farming straight away?
I think it was because it's a story that I see again and again and again. Is that in farming, you will hit these times which are so hard, and you end up losing. You lose a lot of money. It's the stress is massive, and I think I grew up seeing that a lot when I was growing up, and also there was a good chance that the farm wasn't going to be here, so I sort of thought, well, I'm going to go out and try other things, which I love doing anyway, and then ended up going into conservation. Worked with the Wildlife Trust for a bit, worked in the National Trust a bit, did a bit of this, did a bit of that. I love traveling about, and moved down to the West Country, lived in Norfolk for a bit, but then I ended up actually. I worked on a few farms for just at a time of my life when I was just working random jobs. So I went up to Scotland for a bit. I worked on a goat dairy farm in Somerset for a bit. That was random. I worked on an apple place in Herefordshire. So I got the bug. I just got the bug big time, and just meeting loads of people, and I just loved it and thought, okay, well, maybe it's worth giving this a shot, and then ended up coming back to Essex in the end, and have sort of carved out a new sort of business line here. So it's still early days, but it's a crazy life. It is a crazy life, but it's partly what the podcast is about. About shouting about something that is, because if there's one thing I actually love, it's just I love just talking to people, whoever you are, wherever you're from. I'm really interested in people's backgrounds, people's interests. Why is it they're really interested in something? Why is it that everyone on this show, for example, is interested in what they're interested in? So it's but telling those farming stories it's just great. I love it.
Everyone's got a story, man, isn't they? That's the thing.
Yeah.
What I found, I don't know if you found this as well, is everyone's got a story, but no one really goes into massive depth unless now all of a sudden you've got a podcast, and then people are like, yeah, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite person you've ever interviewed out of over 4 years? Is there someone that stands out the most?
Oh, that's a big one. That is a good one, and I probably should know. Yeah, I should probably know. But I think I'm gonna. The cop out question is that everyone is brilliant for their own reason. But I did. There was this lady she was up near Lowestoft. She has, I think, like half a dozen cows, and I turned up for morning milking. Really, so crack of dawn. Just went into the yard. There was no one around. Which is, to be honest, that's the case mostly. And then this woman was just walking through the yard, and she just hit my car on the bonnet. Said, okay, right, time to come out. Didn't say a thing. Just said, follow me. Went straight down to the barn, and I think I asked her one question, something like, "How long have you been here?" or "How did you come here?" And she just went on one for 45 minutes and played record, and I honestly couldn't get a question in one way or another. It was quite an early one, but she was but her story was just she worked in catering. She was homeless for I think 2 or 3 years. Just absolutely amazing story, and such a great attitude to life. It's a great way of seeing the world. And yeah, I think I take a little bit out of everyone, but I also find it doesn't. and I'm sure you probably find this with speaking to people as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. There are certain things that are just we're all similar in. And when you get someone to talk about their story, their interests, where they come from, and you get that little light up in their eyes, that's just what makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it's all that's that passion starts to flow out, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah,
passion in the stories, man. So over 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
How many podcasts have you done over 4 years? Like last year, you went weekly, right?
Yeah, so that's been the big difference, and it's why. Yeah, I mean, I've sort of followed a bit of your journey through over time as well.
Don't go back too much.
we also share the same guy wrote our jingles.
What are the chances of this?
I know, Ben.
I'm not sure now.
So Ben's the drum or was the drummer in my brother's band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The chances, man.
Yeah. So that's sort of how, and that's actually I think how I first got to know you and your podcast through Ben. I think that must have been it. But anyway, I can't remember what the question was. What were we talking about? We were talking about number of episodes. That was it. Yeah, boom, we're there. So yeah, it only went weekly from last year, and that was mainly because the format of like the first 55, 60 odd episodes, I suppose, they're all on location, recorded on location. And it was a bit mad because, like, podcasting is it takes up a lot of time, and also there's when you're traveling around, it costs a fair bit as well. And I was just doing it really, it's just done on the side. And it just got a bit extreme. So I was driving up to like North Yorkshire and back for the day, when I could just grab a bit of time when I've got some time off. So I'll go and do that. Yeah. But when lockdown happened, and I'd sort of been thinking about doing them more remotely anyway. Mm-hmm. But when lockdown happened, obviously it forced us all brand new situation. So I thought, right, okay, I'm gonna be disciplined about this. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna go weekly. And yeah, so it's now at 9:00 on Monday mornings, and it took a bit of time, but I'm now sort of in the flow. So we're now at about, I think Monday's episode will be next Monday's will be episode 106. Wow. Yeah, so it was about 50 to 60 odd episodes in the first 3.5 years, and then another 50 or so since then.
How have you found not actually physically seeing people? I've changed this podcast around quite a bit in the last year because of obviously what's been going on.
Yeah.
How have you found that? Because it's not, I don't know about you, but it's not quite the same experience.
It's not, is it? No. And to be honest, it's been going on so long now. I've almost forgotten. I'm doing. I'm starting to make a music podcast as well, and I'm doing the first episode on Wednesday with my brother, mostly because I can then do it face to face because he's in my bubble. So and I'm not sure how I feel about doing one face to face again. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good experience, but. I don't know. Part of it, I mean, yeah, part of it is it's everyone knows how to use Zoom or Teams or whatever you're using now, or so that's sort of easier. But at the same time, you don't get when you're face to face, you can have a bit more banter. You could have a bit more pre-chat, and you get, and also it's all those other things, especially when you're going out into a farm, dare I say, it's those other sounds you can get, it's the smells, it's the whole feel to the place. And I think when you speak to people on their own home turf as well, they're different as well. So that's a slight, I think we're different when we're speaking on screen to perhaps how we are if you're face to face with someone. You can't have a tea or well, you can have a tea or coffee, but you can't have their tea or coffee. I once went to a farmer in Norfolk who had trained as a barista. It was amazing, and so it's like the best coffee ever. Just thank you very much. But yeah, no, I definitely miss the face-to-face stuff. But I think when it all starts again, I think I'll probably, I don't know about you, and I was going to ask you this actually, but yeah, whether, because I think I'm going to do a more of a mix. So I think I will do the virtual ones as like probably a standard, but then I want to go on when I do the on location ones, I'll do a bit of a road trip. And then sort of then record quite a few at once and then play them back. But yeah, what about you? How's it been for you?
It's been different, man. Like, I do enjoy seeing people and meeting them at shows and doing interviews face to face. I've also enjoyed this. Like, I enjoy doing this sort of thing and chatting to different people and getting different people's voices on. Do you know what I mean? So it's difficult. I think, to be honest with you, and this is what I wanted to do with the podcast lockdown, and we might have to pre-COVID, we might have to wait a few more years for it, but I'd really love to take this sort of thing on stage and do it in front of an audience. So that's the future of it. The best part of it is, like, the one thing that usually when I'm seeing people at shows, it's great, but you're sort of rushing an interview because then they're off to go and do something else. You sort of get people's concentration a little bit more when you're like this. It's tough. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. Because your live,
I don't know. It's different. I'm not going to farms usually.
Yeah, your old live show in Colchester was so good. I didn't actually get to come in the end, but yeah, I think it did stop by the time I was like, I really want to go. But yeah, is that going to come back?
Oh man, do you know what? I forgot about it actually until someone sent me something the other day. It must have been this time. I don't know, 3 years ago maybe. I'd love to. I'd love to. Back. It was wicked. Cost a fortune to put on. That's the only thing. So I don't know.
I can imagine. Yeah,
it was fun, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, there we go. I don't know. Do you find farmer wise? So this is something, like I said earlier, like gardeners always seem a little bit underrepresented. A little, maybe not. That's actually not true. Misinterpreted, because we are very much Monty Don. Like, is the head of the garden media, and everyone thinks that every gardener must be like him, which is definitely not the case. Do you get the same sort of thing in farming?
Big time. Variety is the spice of life, and it's not always shown. I think, and definitely it's in farming. I think you can definitely be tarred with the same brush, and there's always this get off my land sort of mentality. You're probably, you're going to be clinically obese and just sort of, I don't know, just, there's so many stereotypes out there of who a farmer is. But actually, if you talk to different people, the stereotypes will be different. But it's all about, I think it's all about, and it goes for anything, it's about getting different voices out there and showing that diversity, which also means showing the people that you normally hear anyway as well. But it's about showing that it's all diverse, and there's loads of people from loads of different backgrounds.
There's also so many, especially, I mean, there is in both of our sectors of what we talk about, but there's so many different avenues you can go down in farming, which, to be honest with you, until I listened to your podcast, I didn't really realize how many different types of farms there are.
Yeah, it's insane. Honestly, if you can think of if you think of a food, then there will be someone growing it. And we saw when you think of farming, you think of wheat, barley, rape, maybe, and then you think of pigs, chickens, beef, and lamb. But that's only a few of the things. There are there are people in the Cambridgeshire Fens, for example, who just grow the most amazing diverse mix of vegetables. And at the same time, there's inner city farms. There's city farms which have loads and loads of different stuff and get loads of people involved. A really, really early episode I did when I was living in Bristol was of one of the city farms there. There are care farms. There are people who help people with learning disabilities. There are tiny little dairy farms. There are massive 2,000 cow dairy farms. And also, it's really one thing I find really interesting, which I'm starting to do more of as well, is once you go out of the UK as well, which is just it's amazing. You get even more diversity. So it's it's fascinating, man. It really is.
There's one of the questions that I sort of what I was going to ask, but Sugget's just asked in the comments. He said, do farmers get annoyed with people who grow their own at home, like us? We talk about it a lot, as it conflicts with farmers' profits. Like we talk a lot about, like just for instance, over Halloween, pumpkins. It's just how cheaply they're sold in supermarkets.
Yep.
We always comes up every single year around Halloween time on this show. Is how do farmers make any money? And it's the same with any vegetables, really. Mm-hmm. We know what goes in for it to be grown at home, and it's it can add up. Do you know what I mean? It's not expensive, but farming wise, must cost a fortune, and then to put it into the supermarkets it comes to us really cheap. So how does that even work?
Yeah, first, I think it's a fantastic question, and the main answer I would say is that no, farmers don't get annoyed at all. I think everyone should be growing as much as they possibly can, and actually the more that anyone can grow and getting to know about growing, the more that people will understand about food. And ultimately this is what we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about food. So anyone who has an interest in food or growing food, brilliant. And please, just if you're doing it, just keep on doing it. The question of bottom lines is always a big one, and I think that goes with stereotypes as well. In that some of the images of farming is the rich farmer, and it's a hard one because again you see there is massive diversity, and there are rich farmers. We got to say that they are there, but there are also a lot of farmers and a lot of farm workers who are really, really living in really difficult ways, and really, really struggling to make a living. Oddly, if you look abroad, say in Germany, say it's actually more usual for farmers to have another living as well. So they'll farm and then they'll also have a day job. That's less, it's becoming more so in the UK, but it is tough. And the issue we have certainly with any like in gardening, I suppose. Yeah, if you think of your basic inputs, what you're putting into the soil, you've still got costs. So and costs tend to be it's this weird thing. I do another podcast for someone on dairy, and we talk a lot about that at the moment. That prices are higher, so the price you're actually getting is higher, but then your costs are higher as well. So it's still being squeezed. And it is a constant battle. But I think farmers don't do it. You don't really. If you're farming for money, then you just go and do something else, because it's not an easy way to make to make money. But it's a great way of life, and I think that's why so many people, so many farmers just love what they do and are so determined. But going back to the question as well, and growing your own, I think please, anyone listening, if you, and it's I think it works both ways as well, because I think farmers should try and engage more still. And I think certainly on Twitter, say in farming Twitter which is great. Twitter is a really good way of connecting farming, but the conversation so often is, oh, we need to be talking to more people. We need to be engaging people in farming. Well, but actually, how do we do that? And until we're actually reaching out more with other groups or getting outside the farming bubble, that ain't going to happen. Which is why it's so important. But anyone with an interest in food is the way to start. And I think that's if you have an interest in food, then and just ask questions as well. I think that's one of the things. Open Farm Sunday in June is a brilliant way. If you go on the Leaf website, leaf.org.uk, linking environment and farming, there's a massive long list wherever you are in the country. I think it is just the UK. But you will find a farm local to you. Go and see it, ask questions. And just find out more, because ultimately it's just all about, we just need to all need to link together.
That's brilliant. Do you have any you can whisper it if you want, but do you have any like controversies in the farming industry, like drama?
I'm not sure I can say it. I'm not sure I can say it. I tell you what, Lee, and I don't know whether you get this, but as a podcaster, you get told a lot of stuff that you can't always say. And it's
Oh,
like,
I'm
sort of,
used to it. Oh,
why
just-
are
I
you
just-
telling me this?
That's everyone now. It's no good telling me a secret. It's coming out.
But no, but it's honestly like it is a massive privilege, I think, as well, just to get an insight into people's lives and just to be let into people's lives. It's a lot of these people I'll probably only meet for half a day, an hour, couple of hours. But you really do build that connection with someone. And it's I find with some people they probably tell you more than they told their family. But always tell a stranger. It's always easier to speak to a stranger, maybe.
The tax man should, and this is a serious suggestion if a tax man's watching, they should hire podcasters, because for some reason, I won't say that people have told me this sort of stuff, people are very open about what tax they pay. But following on from that, like people do like we said earlier on, they love to share. And I suppose as a I was only joking about telling all the secrets. I keep that I'll get people to pay for those secrets.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, sure. But people do, they want to share with you, and being a podcaster, they feel especially after doing an interview, they feel open enough to connect with you like that. That must be quite interesting for you, for someone to be able to see even more behind the curtain of farming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I've learned so much over those few years, because I think, again, in farming, normally when I've got that hat on, I'm mostly moving at a million miles an hour. I'm mostly by myself. And you do spend a lot of time by yourself, which is partly why I love doing this, because you're actually constantly then speaking to people and meeting new people and getting new experiences that aren't just on your farm. But yeah, lots of people just live like that, and it has. One thing that we have in farming become much better at in the last, I would say, couple of years, couple of years, is talking about mental health in farming as well. Big subject. Loneliness, isolation, depression, suicides. It's again, that's been about talking and connecting and just breaking stigma. So it's amazing. It's amazing how just communication can make such a difference, and just building community like this, I suppose.
Yeah, you put in your notes to me that your favorite sound recorder so far was a turkey gobbling at Paul Kelly's farm. Was it his farm? Was it?
Yeah, Paul Kelly, just outside Chelmsford. Yeah, it was honestly, it was episode 8, if anyone wants to listen to it. And it was just this guy, you go into the shed and you just make the gobble noise, which I'm terrible at, but it's like that. And they just answer
Paul
back.
Kelly has it down to a T though, right?
He really does. It's epic. It is really good. Really good.
I love him. He's such a cat. I met him a few times because we did some bits at Jimmy's farm way back when.
Okay.
And he's I've never known someone so energetic about turkey.
Yeah, I know. He really loves it. He's just, you go into a room with him and it's just energy. It's just, just like you can just tell. He's brilliant. Great guy.
If anyone is going away from this podcast and going to listen to one episode, what would be the first? Obviously, pop into the Paul Kelly one, but what would be the first go-to for you? Because we've got so few people in the comments. I'm sure we've got some people that's going to be listening to the main podcast.
Yeah, again, it's a bit of a cop-out question, a cop-out answer, because but I think because they're all standalone. But a good way to start, I reckon. Oh, and I can't remember the exact number now. That's annoying. But it's round about 50, maybe 48, 50. I did a road trip up to North Wales, and it's around about that time. the Gareth Wyn Jones episode, that's a good one to start with. Gareth's a great character. But yeah, they're all slightly different. So, but in the usual way, and I've done this with quite a lot of podcasts where you start right at the beginning. You can do that, but if you're anything like me, you then have to then listen to every single one afterwards, and like life's too short, man. It's like, there's too many other great podcasts to listen to. So I wouldn't put anyone else through that. But dip in and out, or just start with the current episode. Start with the last one. Although Monday's episode was a bit different. Monday's episode was a bit serious because that was with like the CEO of the RSPB and FFs and Food and Farming Countryside Commission. So I've started doing some more sort of serious interviews as well. But it's mostly about, this is all about connecting people, but connecting people in like so it's sort of serious but not serious. It's like sort of it's a strange balance, and I think I'm still trying to work out what that balance is. It's quite hard to gauge, but it's I was always told that if you're going to make a podcast, then imagine you're down at the pub with some mates. Yeah, that's sort of general feel, and then sort of cater for who it is. But it's all about making people feel relaxed, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. I suppose, and also like you say, it's like touching on serious subjects, but I mean, sometimes I don't know if you find this, and this is me. Where's the positivity bell? It's over here, but we'll go negative. Sometimes on them real serious subjects, and you can listen to them, and they can be actually a bit boring. You sort of tail off. So I suppose as a podcaster, it's your job to keep that conversation. Like, don't get me wrong, people love their subject. Yeah. Sometimes they can go on. It's your job to get them. Come on. Yes. Yeah, so true. And you can tell when it's like sort of, we need to take this on now, guys. I think my style is sort of, I like people to finish if they can, then because their ideas will be developing as they go, and not a lot. I mean, a lot of my guests have probably never done an interview before. So it's like a lot have, and a lot are very, and you can, it's always nice, dare I say it, when you've got someone who is proper sort of, you're on it, you've done this before, because it makes our job much easier. Yeah. But at the same time, like you say, it's really important to sort of, to get the best out of anyone, I suppose. That's part of what your job is to really connect with them, and just sort of see where things going. So it's, like sort of, because you sort of where it's going and move on. But everyone's worth listening to. Mind you, I enjoyed a couple of weeks ago. I listened to Dan, I can't say the word regenerative one. Yeah. Why can't I say that word? I enjoyed that, man. I was jogging along listening to that. I thought it was pucker. Dan's an interesting guy, actually. Yeah, and he's traveled around the world, and it's all those other things that you sort of because you sort of think I know the farming story, and I roughly know what you're doing on your business, but what else have you done? What did you do? What did you do? What kind of teenager were you like? All those other things. It's like it makes them a bit more human. I suppose, I mean, Dan, like you say, Dan did travel. I suppose you travelled and also did a lot of different farming things. Is that why you're also so interested in so many different areas of farming now? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I think so. I think I've always been interested in anything that's a bit different, or anyone who's doing something that's a little bit different. And I think also coming back to our farm here, because I'd stepped out of farming for a long time, and dare I say, I didn't really have any interest at all when I was a teenager. Unlike a lot of young farmers will be just sort of boom, 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 I'm in it, and that's me done. So I had a lot to learn, and the best way to learn, I think, is to go out and see what other people are doing, and then just trial and error and try things out. I have tried some things out which have worked, and I've tried some things out that haven't worked, and I'm still learning big time. But it is, it's about going out and seeing something that's a bit different. And if you can give that a bit of publicity as well, and give them a shout out. And even getting customers if they sell direct, then that's just a great. Yeah, it feels great.
Goats are really hard to catch, mate, aren't they? The only one you talk about.
Yes, they are.
Goat.
I hardly have any hair, and I put that down a lot to that goat farm that I worked on. They eat so much hair. They eat it.
I only know. I didn't know that. I noticed them when I was at a goat farm in Australia, and they made us try and catch goats. It was a nightmare.
Tell me about that.
I was traveling around, and we said, "Oh, we'll go for a week at a goat farm, right?"
Okay.
Goat farm, and they had us like trying to milk us night. Goats are nutters. They do not want to. Well, nothing really wants to be milked, but goats definitely don't want to be milked. And I don't know how they do it over in the UK, but in Australia they were like lassoing these goats and crazy times, man. Like, anyway, I heard you say goats. So I thought I'd just tell my goat story.
That is epic. I wish there was footage of those times.
Probably got. I'll find a photo and send it to you tomorrow. My friend. Ben, whereabouts can people? We're going to talk about this podcast, and I'm going to highlight a few episodes over the next 3 weeks. But where can we find your podcast, dude?
So on Twitter or Instagram, I'm at MTF_podcast. But it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, all the usual podcast places. And I've recently started putting up on YouTube as well. Which hardly anyone is looking on YouTube at the moment. So if you want to look on YouTube as well, just to see the video version as well, just search for Meet the Farmers podcast on YouTube, and it's on there.
Awesome, dude. Nice one, man. Dude, thanks so much. Look, you're welcome to call in whenever you want, man.
Thank you so much.
I know you're busy at the moment, but if you fancy calling in, then
awesome.
we're always here. Dude, thanks for your time.
And thank you for everything you do as well, because it's genius.
Cheers, mate. That always helps when people inflate my ego. Dude, thanks so much, man. I'll speak to you later.
Cheers, mate.
Bye. Awesome to have Ben Eagle on the show. Like I say, we're going to talk about him and his awesome podcast. I'd say I listened to that damn way. I thought it was wicked. But over the next few weeks, we'll highlight some of my favorites. But go check it out. I see Rob is going to pop over there and check it out. We are going to go until 9 p.m. tonight, which is about 15 minutes. So if you want to call in, please do. Should we have a little quick ad break? Let's have one of these ones. Advert Lee here, saying hello. How you doing? Hope you're enjoying the show. Now, you know when you're walking down the street and you say, "Cool, mate, you're looking pretty cool. You must be wearing a t-shirt." Yeah, probably one of these. And you go, "Good t-shirt, mate. Good t-shirt." Well, tonight I'm asking you to support the show by going, "Good show, mate. Good." Well, if you listen to the podcast, obviously you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm doing a thumbs up. Good show, mate. Good show. And you can do it too right here by giving the video a good old thumbs up, a good old share to your mum, to your nan, whoever is your friends on Facebook or in YouTube or whatever, and go and subscribe. That's what you can do. If you're listening on the podcast, you can share the audio. But just share the show. It supports Lee more than anything. Thumbs up. Thumbs up indeed. Hey guys, also, if you want to support the show, head over at the moment. Garden Club is back open with exclusive. If you want to, I mentioned them secrets. I've got another podcast over there for the Weekend Breakfast podcast where I'll be telling you everything there is to know about Ian Beddoes. Ian Beddoes says, send him a members card. All right, we'll send him a VIP card. Beddoes. I hope you enjoyed that. I love that chat. Oh, it's so easy. It's so easy when you've got someone like Ben on the show. So easy. The phone lines are open tonight to finish the night off. I hope you're all good. We went straight into that interview today, didn't we? But I hope you're all good. I hope you had a great weekend. 0742 357 4520. Yeah, we swapped it around. This week. We ain't got news tonight. Tomorrow we've got some news. If you want to listen and tune in tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Right, let me have a quick look because the phone lines are open. If you want to come on the screen and say hello, then you can. Everyone remember this.
That's right, podcast fans. It's that time that everyone hasn't been waiting for. It's time for Tim to win. To win.
If you call in, you can win Tim to... Time passes so quickly. Yeah, we've got great song. If you want to win the tin to win, so I'm just reading Bedo's comment, I should say. If you want to win tin to win, thanks very much. Then all you have to do is call in, and that rhymes. Your name goes into the tin, and at the end of the month, I'll announce what the prize is going to be for Feb. Let's just build it up. It's a rollover, guys. You can win that prize. I'll get it out to you somehow. I'm not quite sure how yet because it's going to be quite a big package. You might have to wait until we're out of lockdown and then I'll drive it to you. I think that might be the only way we can do it. But get ready for that. Call in. Be part of it. Right. As we got no one calling in at the moment, I'm going to have a little look, guys. That's I pressed the wrong button. What have I pressed here? Hang on. Here you go. Yeah, anyway, here's the link. That was what I was going to send you. He loses it. Should have kept Ben on. Should have left Ben sitting here chatting. It would have been better than me fumbling around. Right. Let me have a little look at this. I think it's this link. I listened to Ben's podcast on Spotify. But is this the right webpage? Yeah, boom. Let's have a look at this while we're... hello, here we go. Look at this guy. Here to save the day. It's Richard Stargate.
Always saving the day, mate. Always saving the day.
Hey, man. How you doing? We have to look at Ben's webpage tomorrow. How you doing, dude?
I'm good. I really enjoyed that interview, mate. I really enjoyed that.
Cool, isn't it? Cool start to the year.
Yeah. I was quite intrigued actually when the question I asked about whether farmers get annoyed with grow your owners, and actually it was the right answer. I felt was what Ben gave, that it should be encouraged because it does show just how hard it is to grow food on a mass scale.
Yeah, I suppose I've never thought about it like that before, but I suppose inwardly, is that a word? But without really knowing it, it gives you a respect, I suppose, for
what the farmers do.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. I mean, let's take something as simple as potatoes, which are pretty easy to grow. But I lost count of how many potatoes I grow, but it's over 100, and it takes forever for me to plant them on my allotment.
Yeah.
Well, if a farmer planted them, okay, they might have the machinery which saves time, but it's still a lot of time to plant something as simple as a potato.
Yeah.
Then there's looking after it, making sure it's watered, fed, hoping no diseases come along and wipe out all that.
Exactly.
When you're making your living from it, it really does make you think twice.
It's pretty extreme. If we lose a potato crop, it's not the end of the world, is it? But if you lose a whole field, it's a bit more worrying.
Well, exactly. I mean, you only have to look at the Irish potato famine to see how devastating that was. I mean, that's, what was it, over 200 years ago, I suppose, but just shows how that one crop was so devastated.
It's funny you talk about that. It was in the news the other day that was actually fake news. That didn't actually happen.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Was that Trump's news?
Probably. Damn it. I'll check you there, mate. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed talking to Ben. I could talk to him for ages about it. But I've started listening to his podcast, and I listened to a few episodes last year. I really got into it this year, and some interesting bits. It's like gardening, I suppose, isn't it? It's like there's so many different avenues to gardening, and same with farming, and we're quite on the same line really.
Yes, I mean, somebody once asked me what's the difference between agriculture, horticulture, and gardening, and I kind of struggled to give a definitive answer because, for me, I think you and I have discussed this. A horticulturist is somebody who's trained in plants, whereas a gardener is somebody who just does it as a hobby. But an agriculture is somebody who's trained in growing food. But then it all links together, and it throws me when you put all that together.
Right, hang on. I've got a really good. Hang on, wait there. I suppose, mate. I suppose it's a little bit like this. I suppose if you gardening is just having a cup, horticulture is putting the tea bag in.
Yeah,
but agriculture is adding the water and milk. It gets bigger and bigger. I'll work on that.
yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it does get like I'm a gardener, right?
Yeah.
I could never say I get sometimes classed as a horticulture, and I'm 100% not. Like, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's a bit like if someone call me a farmer, I'm not. It's sort of I could almost say there's a tier level.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. A tier level based on what you're actually doing.
Your camera froze for a second for so long, as if you're either thinking for a long time when I said that, or your camera froze.
No, my camera froze.
I don't know. Maybe you might think differently. I don't know if that is different, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's something that's I've often wondered about. So, yeah,
it's just I mean, more responsibility having a field of crops.
Yeah, but you're producing food for the mass market.
Yeah. Their wins are like our wins are great. Their wins are just more of the same, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is there a beeping noise in your room?
No,
Sure, I can hear like a beep.
I can't.
Someone might have posted something for your letterbox, mate.
No, I haven't got.
My dad was a market gardener. Where does that fit in?
Sorry, say that again.
Bedo says my stepdad was a market gardener. Where does that fit in?
A bit like Charles Dowding. Then he's a market gardener.
That's in between gardener and horticulturist.
A smallholder, I guess, would be a way to try describe them.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We could really get onto this tier. We're not going to do it tonight.
No.
Here you go. Oh, Ben's just put into the chat. Oh, guys, go over to. He's just put into chat. Is an episode I did with Ben Cross, who grows. Ben Cross.
That name rings a bell.
Have I had Ben Cross on?
I think you have.
We had Ben Cross on here once, or I don't know if we did it over. I don't think we did it like this. When did I speak? Or did I? We had Ben Cross on last year, didn't we?
I can't remember when it was. I just recognise the name.
Yeah, Ben Cross is the guy that who does flowers, cut flowers.
Yeah.
The British Flowers Rock.
That rings a bell. Yes. That does ring a bell.
Ben Eagle says, it's getting confusing now. He said he had a load to say about farmers and gardeners and horticulturists having loads to learn from each other. It's one that actually, it's a really good point. We don't really cross over that well. You know, like we do in terms of growing and stuff, but as different industries, I don't know.
I think you're right. Different industries, but you don't really see farmers at garden shows. But you might see gardeners at country shows.
Yeah, like I used to go to Suffolk show, and they used to have like a garden area. Can't remember if I saw any farmers going in there who were more interested in the tractors, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a joke, but it's actually true. But yeah, I suppose they do have they do cross over there.
Yeah, I think that's the only place I can think they really cross over. Although I'm sure, in terms of talking about growing plants, there's probably a bit more of a crossover when it becomes on a scientific level.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
That's true, mate. There's a lot we could learn from each other, and maybe that needs to be a thing for us to talk about a bit more. I don't know, but at least listening to that podcast, we'll find a little bit more out. We'll see what happens, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to go subscribe to that podcast now because I'm quite interested after hearing this.
Wicked, mate. You'll be ever so happy. Dude, thanks so much. I look forward to chatting to you in the week. We've got lots of good subjects coming up. I've got no idea what they're going to be, but I'm sure we'll have fun. Pardon?
You'll wing it.
No, mate. We'll do it professionally. All right.
Okay. Yeah. That's the correct word for it, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll wing it. All right. See you later.
See you later.
Bye, dude. Mr. Suggett coming in on the show. Beto saying he's a COVID test, Suggs. I think have some more COVID tests than any of us. Wow, tonight's gone really fast for a Monday, isn't it? It's been really fast. We have got a great week coming up. More Costa. It's coming soon. Costa, I've been on the old blower to him. Emailed. We've got Costa on Wednesday, which I'm looking forward to. More Garden and Homeschool, answering some questions on Thursday, which should be cool as well. And tomorrow a bit more news, which would be cool. Hey, tonight we talked a lot about farming, didn't we? And did I mention Garden Club? I should mention it. I'm going to mention it tonight because I keep forgetting to mention about Garden Club, all right? Garden Club is open right now, £3.30 a month to be part of Garden Club. Earlier on, I spoke in that chat with Ben about all the secrets. I've not really got any secrets, I'll be honest with you. But there could... Oh, no. Yeah, all the secrets. There's loads of secrets in this Saturday's club podcast. You can only listen to it if you're part of the Garden Club. Hey, so what is out earlier, right? £3.30 a month. If you're tuning into this and you want to support this show and you watch it every night, it works out at 16p a show. Just saying. So go check that out. I'll put the link in the description. Like I say, wow, tonight's gone really fast. Thanks so much to everyone that chucked in a question. Thanks to Ben for calling in tonight and chatting about his podcast. Like I say, we'll talk about it a lot more over the next coming weeks. And I'll tell you what. There you go. Look, Suggs says, I'm a Garden member. And he thinks, we'll find out what he thinks in a second. The link's in the description. Sug thinks there is... He's not commented back yet. Wait there, we'll hold on. We'll hold on until he says... What did Beddoes just say? Did Olive work out now at homeschool? Yeah. So if Daddy charges £3.30 for his... He said it's great, guys, all right? He said it's great. If Daddy charges £3.30 for his club a month, how much would it be per show? 16p, Dad. Instantly, she got it. Instantly. All right? Boom. So if you want to... I'm just going to do it in a serious part now because I'm going to clip this for later. If you... we're shutting up in a minute. If you want to... If you want to join Garden Club, it's an awesome club right now. You get a brand new blog, almost a daily blog over there, a weekend podcast with all the secrets from the garden. Oh, yeah, I've got some secrets. All from the garden industry and what I'm up to in the garden. You also get a free audio book of this bad boy. Oh, yeah, 3 hours of awesome content. And behind the scenes of that book. Wow. Oh, and there's a great community hub as well, where we all come together and share ideas. And if you want to get in contact with me, there's also an instant messaging I say app, but it sort of just goes straight to my phone so I can answer a message from you. So how about it? £3.30 a month. £3.30 a month. You couldn't even buy a coffee for that, right? Go and check it out at skinnyjeangarner.co.uk. And I'll clip that, and then all the supporters will come along. Right, that's enough of me talking about myself. Beddoes has been horrible to me, so that means it's time to end tonight's show. Thanks, Ben, for coming on the show tonight. Really great. If you want to listen to this, then it will be on Sunday's Best of podcast. If you want to listen to that, Best of podcast and taken off at the moment. And I really appreciate everyone that has. I've had a few different emails coming. One from Australia, one from America, Netherlands. I had a message the other day from the Netherlands. I didn't know we were even anyone in the Netherlands listened. I had one the other day from Liverpool, but you can't be told. I suppose it is international. I don't think we go much further than Ipswich. Anyway, I'm mumbling. I'm mumbling on. Right. If you want to fancy more of this, we'll be back on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And you can call into tomorrow night. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. As we outro, give it a thumbs up, give it a heart, give it a share. It all helps. Much love. Facilia. Or Pacilia. You just read it off there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on.
Oh, I can't hear you, on. I've done something wrong with the thing. Anyway, elephant poo is what I got.
Good evening, Lee. How are you?
Great, mate. Your signal is always terrible, but I'm good, my friend. Excuse me. You got an allotment? When I go, don't put artificial grass on top of me, all right?
You got to get composted, Lee.
Yeah,
Hey, Advert Lee here. Enjoyed the show? Good. You can listen to the best of episodes on the podcast every Sunday. That's right, Lee uploads it every Sunday, the best of podcast. So get out of bed, grab yourself a cuppa and pop in the headphones, and you can listen to the best of the week. Or we have some absolute corkers. Go give it a listen. But from me, Advert Lee, and from Lee, see you next time. Bye-bye.
This is a Sunday Gardener Dotson.
Who said that?
oh look, I've turned the light off now. This is after dark. Oh look, Mark Mackey says, great show tonight. Thanks, mate. I was supposed to play this at the start, but Ben was, oh, hang on, let's just stop them. Bring it back. Bring out that funk. Here we go. Right, this is about 2 minutes long, right? 2.5 minutes long. In this 2.5 minutes, can you just, is this the after show party? Yeah. Can you just whack into the comments for me? Any guest ideas? Because I'm booking loads of guests up, and I want some great guests like Ben. Imagine them 3 people that left a minute ago missing this. After dark. any guests that you'd like to see on the show? We got Costa, hopefully. We've not actually done it yet, but g'day. And I know Ian Beddoes wants to see Charlie Dimmock. I'm trying, the Beddoes, all right? They don't have to be celebrities as well. They can be anyone you're just interested in. Hold on. Brian. Oh, hang on. Brian Cunningham, head gardener of Scone Palace, and I've never watched Beech Grove. Donald, here we go. Donald, I've never watched Beech Grove, so I might have to watch a few episodes. But we can make it happen. Hold on, bring that funk back. Bring it back. Richard Suggett would make a great guest, says Stuart. Honestly, so many people, I don't think Rob was mentioned, but so many people was mentioned in this email about how great it is. Francis is here. Francis is watching. No one else knows who Francis is, but Chili Friday's back this Friday, actually, Francis. So get ready for that. Mark says Kim Wilde. Wasn't she in that band? Everyone keeps saying she's a good... Is she a good gardener then? A plant inspector. And then Ian Beddoes. They're two very different people. Stuart Jackson says, how about Frosty? We could get Frosty. We could get Frosty back on if you fancy it. Later on in the year. He's been on before, by the way. I think we were one of the first people to interview Frosty. Francis, you're not getting me the chilies. We're going to grow chili. If you want to grow along with us, then we can, but I'm not so good at tasting them anymore. Okay. All right, then. Cool. There's a few different ideas there. Hey, if you've got any more ideas about who you'd like me to interview over the next coming year, lee@skinjingana.co.uk. And if you'd like to see me do some more after the shows, also let me know. We might. No, is the answer. But hang on a second. What's this song? Oh, this is a good one. Oh, wait. Hang on, wait. Right. Oh, you should. No, I'm not sowing chilies Friday. Because I still think it's too early. Ian says, how about anyone who grew up during the war and grew their own food? Speedo's just come up with a good idea there. Says, can we get someone to interview you? I think I talk about myself enough, don't I? See, I knew it was a good idea to do this after the show. Ian, that's a great idea. Does anyone know anyone old? Phoning someone now. Hello? Are you old? Did you live in the war? After the war. No, don't worry about it. Oh, do you know what, Stuart? We've had Lucy on before. We'll do it. Lucy, I interviewed Lucy such a long time ago. Like, she was one of my first people. She only lives up the road from me. She was one of the first people I interviewed on my podcast before I really knew her. But Saul! I don't know why I said it in a Welsh accent. I've not interviewed Saul yet, so maybe do you want them both on at the same time, or just Saul and then Lucy? We should get him on. That'd be cool. Okay, right. We've got 2 minutes left. Any more ideas? Whack them in, and then I'm out of here. Does she have the artificial grass you hate so much in your neighbourhood? What's Beddoes talking about now? I don't know. Oh, okay, Stu, your wish is granted. They are good. I listened to their podcast today, actually. It's a really good one as well. There's someone that's daft enough to spend hundreds on snowdrops. Can we find some of that? Probably. Stop the tape. Yeah, she does live up. Does she have the artificial grass yet? No, not literally up the road. As if Lucy would have artificial grass as well. That's it for me, lovely people. I enjoyed that. What is day is it? We might go on a little bit longer tomorrow night if you fancy. We might do overtime. But we'll see. Guys, thanks so much. Have a great Tuesday. And